Let's bring in Peter McGauran now, former Howard Government Minister, and Simon Banks from Hawker Britain, former Labor advisor. Gentlemen, great to see you. Peter, first to you, this Super for Housing plan, what do you make of it? And if it is a good idea, why so late in the campaign?
I think mostly to generate excitement in the last week, and it's going to be a fascinating last week, Kieran. This election is not going to peter out to a lame finish. The Prime Minister is going to make every second of every minute of every hour of every day count, and he's going out swinging. He's fighting on a number of fronts, as we know from the Teals, United Party, Qatar, One Nation, where preferences are jumbled and uncertain. So he's got to focus on his core strengths. So I think this is a great initiative from his point of view, gives him a chance to argue, debate it, to dominate at least the early part of the week. And every vote counts, and if this brings some to him, it gives him a fighting chance.
Simon Banks, your thoughts on this? Because I think Labor would recognise this has got a bit to it in terms of, you know, being attractive to those looking to buy a first home, and on that popular level, it could go down very well. How does Labor ensure that it doesn't shift that momentum back to the Prime Minister?
Yeah, look, and Kieran, I should disclose I do work for both superannuation funds and companies involved in the housing sector. We're on both sides of this debate. Look, I think there is a policy like this that is superficially attractive to people, but there's a reason why for 40 years no government of either political persuasion has done it, because as soon as you actually look into the detail of it, you effectively get what Jane Hume admitted this morning on radio, which is that it puts upward pressure on housing prices. It makes it actually harder for first home buyers to get into the market, not easier. It actually depletes their superannuation account. And as Jane Hume in fact admitted this morning, you'll be worse off in just 10 years' time. For every $10,000 you put in, report from Chant West today saying you're going to be $2,500 worse off in 10 years' time. So as I said, there's a reason why the policy's been looked at uphill, down dale by all sides of politics and rejected for good reason.
Peter McGauran, this is going to be Labor's counter to the policy. And further to that, there are other policies like Home Builder, the Home Guarantee as well, where the federal government will provide the guarantee for those that come up with 5% deposit. So there's a lot of that support going into the demand side of this housing market right now. Is it going to be the game changer the Prime Minister hopes with 5 days to go?
It will influence the last weeks very significantly, I suspect. Kieran, if you talk to young people, family and friends, they hate superannuation. They just don't see the logic or need for it. And I'm talking about everybody up until at least the mid-30s. So I think it will resonate. And that's very important this last week, because let's face it, the Liberal Party is behind. Sure, the polls may have weaknesses in that most of them are national, but there's no emotional buy-in at the moment in the election. Mr Albanese is not generating talk on the streets. People aren't cheering him along. Sure, they're not looking to vote him down. They were Bill Shorten 3 years ago, and the Prime Minister himself is frank and open about he's not winning the hearts of people. He's trying to win their minds. So anything like this that sparks attention and has a visceral response by people helps, because at the moment neither leader is winning the affection. And in that case, it's better the devil you know might win out rather than take a risk with Mr Albanese.